then there were four. Welcome into Bracket TV. I'm Cassidy Hubbard alongside Dan Dockett. The Final Four is set, and Cinderella not exactly invited to the ball this time. The four teams headed to New Orleans have been to the Final Four at least 9 times each, with Kansas leading the way with its 14th appearance. Now, Dan, the Jayhawks face Ohio State. Who do you like in that one? Well, I like Kansas, and I'm not exactly sure why. I just think they're a team that kind of wins. Ohio State needs a good game out of William Buford. If William Buford plays well, Ohio State's got a real shot here. But the matchup for Kansas inside, Deshaun Thomas for Ohio State may have to guard either Whitney or he's going to have to guard Thomas Robinson. And if Deshaun Thomas can do that, he's a notoriously bad defender. But if he can guard Robinson, then Ohio State has a chance. But one of two things is going to happen. Either Deshaun Thomas is going to be exposed and get in foul trouble, which hurts Ohio State on the other end, or Deshaun Thomas is going to step up and guard Robinson. I think whoever wins that matchup wins the game. I like Robinson. I like Kansas in the game. And you could probably say that Kansas has really overachieved this year, so it would be great to see if they can get into that finals game. That game is at 8:45 Eastern. Now, the first game of the day is the Battle of the Bluegrass State. A lot of storylines in this one. The relationship between Calipari and Pitino, Pitino's history with Kentucky. We're talking about Louisville's UConn-esque run to the Final Four. Who do you like in this one, Kentucky or Louisville? I like Kentucky, but picking against Louisville is kind of dangerous. They made a run through the Big East tournament. And by the way, for fans out there, don't ever say that a run in the Big East tournament is harmful, because it's the third year in a row that a Big East champ has been to the Final Four. But I think Kentucky has too much talent. Now, you mentioned the differences or the rift between Pitino and Calipari. Here's something to watch. The rift is even bigger among fans. Cassidy, when you see, as you go through the week, when you see a Louisville fan and they're asked to talk about Kentucky, look at their eyes. Yeah. There's hate in those eyes. And the same thing the other way. It's going to be really fun, but I just think that Kentucky is on such a roll. They guard so well, they'll win again. Yeah, that rivalry really is bitter. I wonder, if Louisville fans even care about the finals. It's really just beating Kentucky, and then the rest is... I promise you, John Calipari will be as uptight as he's ever been, and Rick Pitino will continue to throw jabs at him all week about, well, we don't have a chance, we're just happy to be here, it's a big blue monster, that kind of thing. It's going to be fascinating. All right, so you have Kansas and you have Kentucky in your finals. Do you see winning it all? I think Kentucky. I just think they have too much. And say what you want about one and done, John Calipari, whatever you want to say, the guy can really coach. And his team's guard, this team likes each other. The guard play has really improved, particularly from Marcus Teague. Early in the year, Marcus Teague's throwing the ball all over the place. Now he's become a calming influence at different times. He's made some shots. He's able to get to the rim. I just think they have too much, not only talent, but I think they also have a togetherness and a defensive presence that I really like. And I think Kentucky fans, had a sigh of relief after that knee injury to Anthony Davis. Let's hope that he's doing all right. Yeah. All right, so we have those four teams. Did you have those four teams in your bracket? I did not. I had Florida, and I thought I was going to sneak one in there, and I had Michigan State. No, wait. No, I had Florida, and I had Syracuse. I'm sorry. And so I was 2 for 4. Well, you're not alone. Only 0.4% of the 6.45 million brackets entered into the tournament challenge got the entire Final Four correct. That's a total of 25,304 brackets. And that's a far cry from the 2 brackets to get the entire Final Four correct last year. Granted, VCU and Butler weren't the most obvious picks. As for this year, the obvious pick seems to be Kentucky. Of the 4 teams, the Wildcats were picked by 68.3% of the entries to make the Final Four, where Louisville was picked by just 6.8% to make the trip to New Orleans. Now, the team that busted the most brackets this weekend was North Carolina, the second most popular pick in the game. 57% of the brackets had them in the Final Four, and 17.9% of the brackets had the Tar Heels winning it all. Also worth mentioning is that 24.1% of the brackets had Kentucky facing North Carolina for the national title. Let's take a look at the bright minds who are in the lead right now. There are 11 brackets tied for the lead heading into the Final Four with 1,140 points. 6 of the brackets have Kentucky winning. 3 have Ohio State, 2 have Kansas. All right, so how are the beautiful people doing, the celebrities doing in the Tourney Challenge? Now, President Obama did get Kentucky in the Final Four, but his bracket was busted when his national championship pick, North Carolina, lost to Kansas, like many people, including myself. Overall, he got 2 Final Four teams correct, Kentucky and Ohio State. A team in the national title game also still alive in Kentucky. So he has 860 points, Rate in the 96.1 percentile overall, but can only get 160 more points from Kentucky reaching the national title game. As for some other notables, LeBron struggling a little more. He has 680 points and is in the 53.4 percentile, but has Kentucky as his national champion. Rajon Rondo is in the 31.7 percentile and has his former team UK winning the title. And the Rockies' Dexter Fowler, not bad, 790 points, and is in the 86th percentile. Some other notable brackets, college basketball analyst Jay Billis, he's doing well with 780 points and is in the 83.8 percentile. Jay had 2 Final Four teams correct. NFL analyst Mark Schlereth ranks in the 31.7 percentile with 610 points and 1 Final Four team correct. Dickie V checks in with 530 points, putting him in the 14.3 percentile. That's not so awesome, baby. But, he still has bragging rights over Sports Nation's Michelle Beadle. She just has 460 points, placing her in the 6.3 percentile. She has 0 Final Four teams correct and had a championship final of Baylor and St. Mary's, so she went all in on that one. She took a lot of risks, didn't get any rewards, but hey, we would be praising her if she did get that Final Four correct, so you win some, you lose some. How you feeling about your bracket?
You know, I had North Carolina taking on Kentucky in Wisconsin.
Yeah, mine not so great either.
I had North Carolina winning, so what do I know?
Yeah. All right, for Dan, I'm Cassidy Alberts. Enjoy the madness.